It's over at the DCExaminer.com. The headline is Trump brings his land developer deal-making to international diplomacy. President Donald Trump's 72-hour stretch from last Friday's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska to Monday's gathering of the most powerful leaders in Europe and Ukrainian President Zelensky is unrivaled in American history. No president has ever traveled as far and as fast to meet for meaningful negotiations with such a disparate group of world leaders. The president tossed aside generations of accepted wisdom about symmetry, embraced his inner developer's mantra. Nothing happens until the decision makers actually get to a real table in a real room. For as long as he's been in politics, I've urged readers, listeners, and viewers not to forget what a lifetime in high-stakes real estate development teaches those who survive that game. Daring, bold moves, the inevitability of failure, and the joy and returns of big wins. Whether residential, commercial, or mixed-use, big-time development is not for the timid. The personalities on the private sector side are enormous, and the money involved is big enough to turn the heads of even the wealthiest. Getting to yes with private partners on a land transaction is only the first step. Getting every jurisdiction involved to yes is a years-long grind that affects scores of government officials at every level. City council members, county supervisors, regional agencies dealing with coastal zones, water runoff, wildlife, and fire prevention are all involved, as are state agencies and, of course, the federal government in the form of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. That's only a partial list, by the way, of the independently operating government agencies with authority over land use projects. Trump has dealt with them all on both coasts and in between and abroad. Some of his deals have cratered. Some have been spectacular wins. That's about right for the bigs. I learned how to deal with deal makers in a 3-decade career as a land use lawyer, mostly in the western states, with an occasional exotic project far away. Lesson 1, lawyers aren't deal makers. Lesson 2, developers are usually much more gifted entrepreneurs than lawyers. Lesson 3, don't kill deals. Do everything you can to make them come to be. Successful land use lawyers learn how to deal with big personalities with big dreams, lots of cash, and cunning. They also know that risks are real and their obligation is to advise about risks candidly. Their number one job is to keep the client out of trouble with the law. Career diplomats and commentators on national security are almost by definition ignorant about large-scale land development and lack the professional humility of a good lawyer. Thus, Manhattan Beltway experts have underestimated Trump's skill set and his capacity for risk. The only modern presidents with remotely similar entrepreneurial backgrounds are the two Bushes. Both of them were also chronically underestimated by the chattering class, which had zero idea of what it means to be an oilman, HW, or the owner of an MLB franchise, W. The talking heads never considered that prior professional lives deeply enmeshed in risk-taking would produce operating rules very different from the average career politician.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.